If we ask how many people could fit on Earth, the answer depends on what we mean by fit. If it is simply about space, about the physical ability to stand together shoulder to shoulder, then the numbers are almost absurd. Earth's land surface covers about 149 million square kilometers, which is 149 trillion square meters. If we pack 5 people into each square meter, a suffocating density that resembles a concert crowd multiplied a billion times, the result is a staggering 745 trillion people. In this cold, mathematical vision, Earth becomes nothing but a flat, pulsing sea of human bodies, stripped of food, shelter, or life. It is a grotesque answer to the question, one that reveals only how meaningless raw numbers can be without context. But if survival matters, if we consider food, air, water, and space to live, then the answer transforms into something much smaller and much more complex. Earth's carrying capacity has always been tied to its ecosystems. Before the industrial age, when humans relied purely on sunlight, crops, forests, and rivers, most estimates place the sustainable population at perhaps 500 million to 1 billion people. That was the ceiling dictated by fertile soil, rainfall, and the natural regeneration of resources. With the rise of fossil fuels, intensive farming, and global trade, humanity broke that ceiling. Today, more than 8 billion people survive together, but this balance is fragile, resting on oil-driven fertilizers, complex logistics, and a climate that is now destabilizing under the weight of our own emissions. So how many people could Earth truly hold? Imagine one world where humanity learns to live modestly, consuming resources sparingly, recycling everything, spreading evenly across fertile land. In such a scenario, Earth might sustain 15 or even 20 billion people. Each would live more simply than today's average citizen of a wealthy nation, but there could still be dignity, education, and community. It would be a world of restraint where technological progress focuses less on consumption and more on balance. Now imagine another version. Technology dominates and nature becomes secondary. Vertical farms rise inside skyscrapers, lab-grown food replaces fields, and closed-loop recycling sustains cities sealed off from the environment. In this mechanized Earth, 50 billion or perhaps 100 billion people could be maintained. But the cost would be profound. Landscapes sacrificed, wilderness erased, oceans stripped to emptiness. The planet would survive, but as a factory, not a garden. Life might be efficient, but the human spirit could suffer, starved of the open sky and the quiet of forests. There is also the darker vision. If Earth becomes overcrowded and societies refuse balance, then collapse becomes inevitable. Resources would vanish faster than technology could replace them. Wars would ignite over water, arable land, and breathable air. In such a timeline, the planet might technically be able to fit tens of billions for a moment, but only at the cost of future generations. Overpopulation without balance would end not in abundance, but in famine and ruin. At the core, the question, how many people can fit, is less about physics and more about philosophy. Fitting bodies into space is trivial. Sustaining souls, lives, and futures is the true challenge. Numbers like 700 trillion show physical absurdity. Numbers like 15 or 20 billion reflect an optimistic balance. Numbers like 50 or 100 billion sketch out a techno-dystopia. The real question is not how many can fit, but how many should fit. Humanity must decide whether Earth is simply a container for as many people as possible, or a shared home that must preserve not only survival but meaning. Ultimately, Earth's true limit is written not in square meters, but in how we choose to live. Do we define existence by the number of bodies pressed against one another, or by the quality of the life each body can lead? If we pursue the first, then the Earth is infinite space waiting to be filled with silent crowds. If we pursue the second, then Earth's capacity is smaller but infinitely richer because it includes not only survival but dignity, culture, love, and freedom. Perhaps the better question is not how many can fit on Earth, but how many can flourish here? And that answer, unlike the raw numbers, is one humanity must continuously earn.